think the formation of PDA was, since I graduated from university in 1982, I have more or less been committed to development, to people's development. Because when I was in the university, I was very active in the Catholic students movement called Pax Romana. And it instilled in us that sense of service, especially to the poor. So from 82 till now, I have been involved in development, social development and so on. And in 92, when I returned from doing my master's, I decided to come and work for an organization called CEDEP, Center for Development of People, which was an NGO that a group of us, the Catholic youth, had started as far back as 83. But it wasn't moving, it wasn't going on. And so I joined as a third staff and tried to develop it as a professional NGO with professional and well-qualified staff. By and large, we succeeded in doing that to the point where in 2000, when I was leaving, my original idea was to work for it for 5 years and then move on to do other things. But I spent about 8 years at CEDEP. But then it allowed me to see the dynamics of an NGO. Before then, I'd worked with VSO, Voluntary Service Overseas, which was a British volunteer, and then coming down to work for now a Ghanaian NGO. I got a good sense. And one of the things that I felt wasn't working well with the model is that dependency on donations, dependency on grants. And so it doesn't make the managers of the organization look for or see opportunities that comes if you are running a business. So I thought I have worked enough with that model and wanted a model where was more using business mentality to work within the social sector, business mentality to solve social problems. So we registered PDA, Participatory Development Associates, as a limited liability company with that in mind. But then we also wanted to work within the social development sector, where we are selling our services for a fee. And then whatever comes from that, we could then use it to do other things, okay, that we want to, without necessarily having to go and be begging for money, you know, and so on. So this time I wanted to go with pure business and try this model where it's more or less, it was later on, I got to hear of the term social enterprise, you know, and I thought, yeah, that's what we'll be trying to do. We're trying to set up a social enterprise, you know. And I realized that with NGOs, sometimes the board do not seem to own it. And it ends up sometimes being owned by an individual. When in actual fact, an NGO should be a public service. Okay, it's a charity and it's not owned by one person. It's like, let's take a church. A church is not supposed to be owned by one person or a family. Okay, it's supposed to be one that you serve your turn, you move on. So I wanted to move away from that so that with PDA, Celia, my wife and I, who is my wife, and I are owners. So that when we even exit, we still have a say in how it transitions. Okay, of the social enterprise, we wanted to be able to use some of our earnings, okay, to sometimes initiate. Okay, so a classic example is the child protection knowledge sharing that we'll come to later. It's where it's initiated by PDA, okay, with our own money. Okay, if along the line others want to support us and make it bigger and so on, of course, we would go for it. Celia and I, Celia Marshall, who is my wife and a shareholder of PDA, and I went to did a master's program, and that master's program was called Community Organization for Rural Development, and we got exposed to what really makes projects, initiatives, social initiatives sustain beyond the formation stage. And realized that participation was a major element. Ownership by the people who benefit from that initiative is a major component. So returning to Ghana to work in the NGO sector, to continue to work in the NGO sector, I've always, and as well, both of us have always believed in being facilitators, okay, of people's process and development, rather than being implementers, okay. So even through my days in SEDEP, the angle we took was about facilitating rather than implementing. Okay, how do we build systems in the localities? How do we identify people and strengthen and build their capacity so they can continue that initiative beyond us? Okay, so that has been at the back of our minds, and more or less the reason why, when we decided then to form an organization, we decided that we'll call it Participatory Development Associates, with the idea that we want to promote participatory culture, okay, in Ghana. Because for us, as our slogan, our motto says, everyone matters, okay. So anybody who is going to be beneficiary of an initiative must be part of that initiative, must be part of the decision-making process, must feel ownership of it. We get people to begin to analyze their own situation and begin to get them to look at possible solutions to their own situations. We did that very effectively in 2004 when we had to facilitate the issue of child labor in cocoa communities. But what we use, what we usually call is a dialogue, is to sit with them and begin to ask questions. So we do that first with the leadership of the community, you know, and with time, people begin to, in the end, what we get them to do is to come up with an action plan, okay, and the action plan begins to focus them, because they begin to acknowledge what the problems are and their own role in creating the problem, and therefore what they can do to solve the problem, okay. And once we get to that point, it becomes easy, because people now take ownership. They take the action plan and start implementing the action plan, and they take pride, okay, in it, you know. And it was under that project, which we did with International Cocoa Initiative from 2004 to, I think, 2010, 2011, thereabout, that I really saw the impact of that approach. Because, look, we got communities building schools, because they themselves recognize that, no, it wasn't safe for their children to walk that distance to the next school, you know. And there was a lot that they did for themselves. When we transitioned, where Celia and I stepped down, again, we just didn't step down and vanish from the scene. At least I was on the scene for 4 or 5 years to observe, to see whether that transition is going on, whether that culture is pertaining, and so on, and to guide the new team to keep that. And I think that helped. And for me, I think what has been even the most major factors is that the Glowing, who took over from me, very honest person, very hardworking, you know, and when she left, we got Adam, you know, who luckily had been with the organization on a different project, you know, and had just about the same skill sets that was needed, organization development. So he has an idea of how organizations evolve, you know. The fact that we've been able to achieve what we have achieved in these 20 years, I wouldn't put it only down to Celia and I. Yes, we set the foundation, okay, but having people like Helen, Glowing and Edem succeed us, I think made a big difference. And also making sure that there was that period of transition made a big difference. Let me also add that having a strong and functioning board, I shouldn't forget that, also made a big difference. Because many organizations tend to treat the board and the board members as if they are just friends and buddies. No, ours is a functioning board, it's a hard-working board, it's a strategic board, and really pin you to think. I think those are the pillars that have brought us to this point. I think that the organization has, for me, exceeded our expectation. When I say our, I mean Celia and I. It has exceeded our expectation. For the reason that, like I said, not often do you have that transition happening, okay, where the founders step down, okay, and the organization is even growing stronger in strength. Often there will be a decline. But at the moment, I think when we were leaving the organization, I think we're about 20 staff or so, staff strength, maybe 25. But now, I think we are getting into the 40, okay, thereabout, or 40 plus.
I'm sorry, I'm going to get emotional now. I'm just so proud of PDA. Sorry, I need to pull in PDA, like yourself and the people around me today. I just feel so hopeful. I just feel so happy and excited that young people are joining the organisation with the same enthusiasm that people in PDA have always had. And that makes me believe will continue for years to come. Yeah, and we'll have the same organisational integrity and quality that we've had for the last 20 years. Yeah.
The fact that we are having same partners and clients coming to us is an indication that they're happy with the service. It's an indication that the current staff are satisfying their expectations. The fact that we are moving into new areas and even have had projects in Côte d'Ivoire, projects in Cameroon, is beyond our expectation. What we are hoping, and I'm happy that the current leadership see it that way, which is basically, if I should put it in the MD's words, is to build a Pan-African organization, okay? One that is working in other countries beyond Ghana. If we can achieve that, for me, it will be where we want to move to. In 10 years' time, if we still have this same crop of staff, of leadership, I can see us working in other African countries. And venturing into new areas of need, as a social enterprise, where we would invest in areas that not necessarily make profit, but because we believe in that cause. And we are happy to put aside some of our profit, to execute or to pursue that cause. Because in the end, what we are looking for is a better Ghana and a better Africa for the next generation. That for me is what we want to see. Development is about progress. Development is about seeing the improvement in the lives of our people. And sometimes it's not by what we do, by the causes we support.
I've been working with PDA for the past 7 years, and I think it has been an exciting journey. There have been a lot of learnings, an amazing one, amazing initiative that we've taken as an organization. We co-created a number of things, and also there have been failures. But the good thing is that the failures are always point for learning, where you look at what went wrong and how can we build that. So I think it's really been great, particularly trying to create a niche for ourselves in some core areas of research, evaluation and learning, financial inclusion, project management, and also our unique model of trying to build systems where partners have access to real-time information and data as they work with us. Seems to be one of the amazing things that we've developed over the period.
I joined PDA on 1st September 2001. That was when the office was operating from the Tech Junction office. Basically, I was inspired by the fact that PDA is a very human-centered organization. It takes the concerns of its staff to heart. And I also believe that the little skills I possessed at that time, I could help in carrying out the main objective of the organization.
I think PDA, when I joined PDA, to head the research unit, it had very strange arrangement where most of the work we did in PDA was field researchers mainly. So the research unit mainly was working with organizations like, the ODIs, the OPMs. I was coming with purely very academic background. I had just finished my 2 master's degree. I had some, a few publications, peer-reviewed publications. I had done some research on peace building in Kenya. I also had some pastoral experience in engaging with communities, engaging with people. So I came on board as someone who loved to interrogate social phenomena.
PDA has become like the proverbial elephant, where depending on the parts that you are touching, that is where you would think, or what you think PDA is, because it has a lot of work streams and phases. So PDA does not work like the traditional development consultancies that we work with partners to create sustainable interventions. And what we earn from it, we also again reinvest in some other projects in the communities as well.
Yeah, social enterprise is simply a way of saying we are for profit, but we are also for people. And that's what we do at the research unit as well. We charge for our services, but we deliver high quality work. We contribute to knowledge, we contribute to policies, we contribute to programs. And we aim to give the very best that ultimately inures to the benefit of the ordinary people we work with.
We approached every intervention with the mind of sustainability, either helping communities to see the business model of the process, or helping partners to see that business model where they could sustain and continue to run the intervention without PDA. Because some of our community intervention, we worked ourselves out of the space. We facilitate processes, worked ourselves out, and actually that then helps these partners to continue without PDA and be sustainable, but because they see the business component of it as well.
PDA, because of the approach it uses to work, it builds on the capacity of team members. It makes sure that the team is empowered so that they have the needed skills to tackle jobs at any point in time. So we have skilled team members, and that has helped us to move and expand our scope of work. Now, basically, we started initially with research, training, facilitation consultancy. But now we've added on what we do, diving into financial inclusion issues and all other stuff.
You know, the landscape is really changing very fast. How programs are managed, how M&E is conducted, how learning is facilitated, how communities are engaged and all that. They are really changing fast with advancement in technology. Models are being developed here and there. So it's rather how do we stay on top of recent development and emerging approaches in the space, and how do we try to practicalize this new development and build that experience so that you can now be here. Like for us now, we've developed a system where we can actually be doing a community facilitation, either a VSLA or whatever, and let partners have a live stream event at the community level. These are how you try to innovate. Okay, there is pandemic. People are not able to travel, but they also still want to be part of processes in communities. How do we do that? And all that. We've been conducting a lot of researches, both qual and quant researches. How do we now ensure that we digitize the process? Not only that, the quality controls are digitized, the results are visualized. People log in to get the report. So it's about how we stay on top of the emerging technologies. And the good thing is that the PDA team is relatively young. We smart young people heading or leading different departments of the organization. And they are also very technological savvy and interested in what is emerging. The desire to learn is there, the energy is there. So that is actually helping. We have the very experienced people who also come in to work with them. So I think it's that blend that actually helps us to be able to stay. And also we've developed models in the development space where we work with non-governmental organizations, we work with government agencies, we work with international development agencies, and importantly, we work with private sector. And each of these sectors or actors in the space, we've developed different ways of working with them because their approaches, desires, and interests are different. And so it's also one of the things that we have managed to develop that is helping us to overcome or to be able to keep the organization going.
I think this has gone a long way. I think we've done so well. Within the last few years, we realized that our partnerships have increased, the scope of work has increased, and because of how we carry out our assignments, by the time one assignment is done, we win even 2 or more from that particular assignment, and it's because of how we work. Even from last year when we had COVID, unfortunately, many organizations had to either downsize, reduce staff salaries, or even close down. But last year was a good year for PDA when we didn't downsize, but rather, even though we were working from home, we had additional pieces of jobs that we did. This year has seen us even increasing what we are doing. So I see that fortunately for us, we have the needed human resources to carry out our vision.
Our strong desire is to be a partner of value to whoever that works with us. You appreciate how we contribute to the intervention and the development of the people. And that is key, because then that makes you always want to work with us. Then we become a partner of choice. But for us, when we work with you, it's a partner of value. That is what we say. And then also, one thing we do is to grow and replicate our models across Africa. Because we've been working in Ghana over the years. We've developed our own models, and it's just time to replicate that. So we've been working to replicate some of this work. We've done a couple of works in Abidjan, in Cameroon. We are doing some work there, in Kenya, in Uganda. It's just to test and replicate this model in other African countries as well. And last bit is to just drive a participatory development agenda across Africa.
PDA has set up, out of its one of its assignments, working on the palm oil study. We decided to at least support farmers who were struggling within that sector by setting up another organization in the name of PDA Agribusiness and Social Enterprise, based in Mankraso now, which is a palm oil manufacturing plant. We buy the fruits and then we mill. So basically, PDA has grown to get another baby, I should say. In addition to that, during one of our staff retreats, the admin team came up with an idea of using the resources we have in the office, such as the printer, the scanner, and whatnot, to open another unit. So we have the PDA support services, which is in charge of this other area. They provide logistical support, secretarial assignments, and all that to outsiders.
The experience has been excellent. Experimenting things, harnessing experiences of young people who are willing to work and to do things differently. And I think it's been very successful. And I can't ask for more.
I worked for PDA for about 6 years, and it was a lovely experience. I think PDA offered me the opportunity to build up, get a lot of experience and expand the scope of my knowledge. I had a lot of theoretical knowledge, so it was at PDA that I solidified that theoretical knowledge and practicalized it, and I was able to try my hands at several different things, so that was interesting. I'll say PDA, you've been a fertile ground for so many young people, including me when I was young, and I was given opportunity to take on bigger challenges than someone would normally give to a young woman, and I was able to grow. And so I'll say, PDA, are you cool? You've been this fertile ground for young people, and please continue to be that. Be participatory, make people participate and achieve their potential.
I've worked with what I recognize as PDA. Maybe we didn't call it that then. If you say it's only 20 years, that's more than 20 years. So whatever, you ask Tony, whatever PDA was called at that time, the presidents to PDA, we were working as researchers in child welfare, child's rights. I think PDA was on a development process that was not hard. Is it hardcore? I don't know. Sometimes like when you say finance people, it's as if they only see money and they don't see people. And originally, I don't think they saw people, they saw only the money. But it's like looking beyond development as theory and looking at people and how you can move them from point A to point B without controlling them, so that whatever work you do with them is sustainable. So that has kept my link with PDA. Somehow we end up being thrown together. I remember, for example, I think about 4 or 5 years ago, when PDA was facilitating IOM migration issues, and then I was asked to be one of the trainers for the police and migration and those who handle particularly trafficking in women and children, both internal and external. And I worked then with PDA as one of PDA's consultants. We were in Ho and a few places over quite a few, Cape Coast all over. So if it didn't start as inspiration for PDA, but inspiration maybe because we had the same forward-looking vision.
So on behalf of Comfort staff and myself, we would want to congratulate PDA for clocking 20. They have come this far, I'm sure, by hard work, just a dint of hard work and a lot of efforts that they have put into their engagement. So I want to congratulate them. We wish them well for the next several years that they would be in the system. So,
congratulations PDA on your 20-year anniversary. It's quite an achievement. I have been working with you guys at PDA now for about 13 years, so quite a long time. And yeah, best of luck for the next 20 years. I hope that us at ODI can continue to partner with you, and yeah, I wish you the very best for the future.
Congratulations,
Congratulations.
PDA! Congratulations on your 20-year anniversary. It's been 20 years of lots of growth and learning.
And quite a long time of those 20 years, such a long time that we're not entirely sure how long, has been in partnership with ODI. It's been one of our favourite, most exciting and dynamic partnerships. We've had to dig into the archives, which means speak to Sarah Turner, to find out a little bit about the history and how long that partnership goes back. And we think it started in 2008 on the Mwananchi project when Glowin was the project coordinator, and we think Adam probably wasn't even yet with PDA, and then that evolved into a further partnership on Youth Forward when Glowin was in charge and Adam was kind of heading up the Youth Forward project. And now obviously that Youth Forward's come to an end, there will be more projects in the future, we hope, to work with Adam and all of his amazing team.
Okay, 20 years of PDA in Ghana and beyond. I wish you the very best. Child Online Africa is learning from you. And we hope you will take more strategic steps, more bolder steps to ensuring that the right things are done and they are done well.
Hi, my name is Joha Braiman. I'm the West African Regional Director. On the occasion of your 20th anniversary, I would like to share a few words with you. Free the Slaves have partnered with PDA Participatory Development Associates for some time now, all the way from conducting a baseline study for a program in Obuasi when we were working on combating child trafficking and mining, conducting a baseline for Free the Slaves when we were implementing a child rights project in the Volta Lake, as well as an endline study. Over the period, the experiences and journeys that Free the Slave has had with PDA have been great, and we look for more collaboration. We are looking forward to diversifying the kind of relationship and collaborations that we have currently beyond research into program implementation. And I'm very excited to see that PDA is carrying on with even more complex tasks in their programming up to now. And I'm excited to have known this organization. Moving forward, we are looking for greater things together. Congratulations once again, and have a great anniversary.
Dear friends of PDA, congratulations with your 20th anniversary. What a milestone. I'm happy to say we have been part of your story for the past 3 to 4 years. Starting together in 2018 with a small pilot project in Ghana, now became a close partnership covering multiple countries in the region and a range of different projects. Central in all of our collaborations is maximizing impact for cocoa farmers and making sure their voice is heard. For me, personally, the reason of our strong partnership is because of 2 elements. First, the innovative approach of PDA. Collaborating with PDA has been a big brainstorm of ideas of how we can improve on existing models based on data and experiences from the past. On the forefront of those discussions is the empowerment of farmers by providing tools that enables them to take control over their own lives. Secondly, of course, the PDA team. Working together with the PDA team has been a great experience. The entire team is dedicated and passionate in interacting with farmers and their households, which in my view is an important factor in their success story. The word impossible does not exist in the vocabulary of the PDA team. Both of these points have led to a fruitful project on the Vieselays where we co-developed the Vieselay Child approach. Making use of existing tools such as Vieselay and gender action learning, we have integrated the child labor sensitization component, which encourages households to invest in the well-being and future of their children. I hope we can extend our partnership for many more years and further increase our impact by empowering cocoa-growing households. Once again, PDA, congratulations from the entire Beyond Beans team.